You do not need a big following to sell a course on Instagram. I want to say that clearly at the start because it's the belief that stops most course creators before they begin. They look at accounts with 100,000 followers and assume that's the entry fee. It isn't. Last week, I made the case for focusing on one platform instead of spreading yourself across 5. This week is for the people who've chosen Instagram. And if you haven't seen last week's video, the short version is pick one platform, go deep, build your email list from it, and add others only when the first is working. Links in the description. Here's the uncomfortable truth about Instagram for course creators. Most people use it in a way that builds followers without building buyers. They get likes, comments, followers, and no course sales. The difference between an Instagram presence that merely feels good and one that actually converts comes down to 3 things. A bio that does real work in about 3 seconds, content that attracts the right person rather than the largest audience, and a clear path off Instagram and onto your email list. That's what we're covering. Let's start with the 3-second test most buyers fail. Your Instagram bio is the single most important piece of real estate on your entire profile. Not your latest post, not your highlights, not your follow account, your bio, because it's where every interested visitor lands and makes a snap decision. Here's the sequence. Someone meets your content, a reel in their feed, a post someone shared, a search result. And if they're interested enough to want more, the first thing they do is tap your profile. They land on your bio and they have roughly 3 seconds to decide whether you're worth following and, better yet, whether to click the link. 3 seconds. That's the opening loop I want you to hold. Does your bio pass the 3-second test? Most course creator bios fail it. They read something like coach, speaker, helping people live their best life, new course coming soon, DM for details. That tells a visitor almost nothing useful. Who do you help specifically? What results do they get? Why should they care? What happens if they click the link? Nobody knows, so most of them leave. A bio that converts has 4 elements, and on Instagram, you've got about 150 characters, so every word has to earn its place. Element 1, who you help. Specific, not entrepreneurs, but new online coaches or course creators just starting out. Element 2, the results they get. Not helping you grow, but the actual outcome, like launch your first course in 30 days or get your first 5 paying clients. Element 3, what you offer. One line that makes the link worth clicking, like free step-by-step launch guide below. Element 4, the link itself pointing to your opt-in page, not your home page, not a link tree with 8 options, but the single destination with the single offer. Put together, it reads something like helping new course creators launch their first course in 30 days, free step-by-step launch guide below. Specific person, specific outcome, specific offer, 1 link. This is exactly the structure I'm building towards on my Instagram, @PaulMcIntyre_. If you want to see it in practice, that's where to find me. One more thing on the link before we move on. You get 1 clickable link and it goes in the bio, so use it well. If you've got several things you want to promote, the lead magnet, your YouTube channel, your course, resist the link tree. Use your opt-in page as the single destination and let the welcome sequence handle the rest. Someone who joins your list from Instagram will discover your YouTube channel in the welcome emails and learn about your course a few emails later. You don't need everything in the bio link. You need them on your list, and then you let the list do the work. This is the section that decides whether your Instagram effort ever turns into money. So slow down with me here. There's a distinction most creators never make. The difference between content that builds an audience and content that builds a buying audience. On Instagram, it matters even more than elsewhere because the algorithm rewards engagement, likes, comments, shares, and the content that gets the most engagement is often not the content that attracts the most buyers. Broad, relatable content, motivational quotes, universal observations, humour about common experiences. Gets lots of engagement because it resonates with a wide audience. Many people like it, comment, share, but those people aren't necessarily your ideal students. They found it entertaining, and entertainment doesn't convert to course sales. Specific, problem-focused content gets fewer likes in raw numbers because it's designed for a smaller, more precise audience. But the people who engage with it are disproportionately likely to be your ideal students. They're engaging because it speaks directly to a problem they have, and people who have a problem are far more likely to buy a solution. So the instruction is simple, even if it fights your instinct. Optimize your content for relevance to your ideal student, not for broad appeal. In practice, that means content that speaks to the exact problem your course solves, not a related one, the exact one. That demonstrates you understand it at a level of nuance only genuine experience produces, and that shows the outcome on the other side, concretely, with real numbers and real stories. Here's a framework that works consistently for course creators, built on 4 post types. Problem posts name a specific problem your ideal student has in enough detail they recognise it themselves. You don't solve it yet, you just prove that you understand it completely. These generate saves and comments from people who feel seen. Process posts show one specific step, technique, or framework that helps, not the whole course, one genuinely useful thing which builds the perception of expertise. If the free content is this good, the paid content must be excellent. Proof posts share a specific result, yours or a student's, with specific numbers, timeframes, and situations, because she went from 0 to her first paying client in 3 weeks using the exact framework I teach. Beats, my student gets results every time. And personal posts share the part of your own story that connects to the journey your student is on. Not your life in general, but your version of their path, your mistakes, your turning points. Rotate through these 4 and you build a feed that demonstrates expertise, builds trust, shows results, and creates human connection, all 4 of which are required to turn a follower into a buyer. If content is what converts, reels are what get you discovered. And for building an audience from 0, they're the most important format on the platform. Here's why, with current numbers rather than folklore. Instagram's algorithm still favours reels for reaching people who don't already follow you. And the data backs this up. For many creators, well over half of reel views come from non-followers. A reel that performs can reach tens of thousands of people who've never heard of you, while a static post, however good, is mostly shown to your existing followers. Your existing followers already know you exist. New followers are the lifeblood of list growth, and reels are how you reach them. What the algorithm actually rewards is worth knowing precisely. In early 2025, Instagram's head, Adam Mosseri, confirmed the ranking signals that matter most for reach. Watch time, sends per reach, how many people share your reels in DMs, and likes per reach. Sends are weighted especially heavily, several times more than a like, because a share to a friend is the strongest possible signal that content is worth spreading. So the practical goal isn't to get likes, it's make something people watch to the end and send to a friend, which comes down to a few things. First, the hook is everything. The opening 1 or 2 seconds decide whether someone keeps watching or scrolls. On Instagram, there's no title or thumbnail. It's the opening frame and the opening line. 3 things your Instagram bio should say, and almost certainly doesn't. The reason your course isn't selling has nothing to do with the platform. Each creates a reason to keep watching before the viewer has consciously decided to. Second, 1 idea per reel. A reel is not a tutorial or a comprehensive guide. It's 1 idea explained clearly in under 60 seconds. Ask what single most useful thing you could tell your ideal student right now, and make a reel about that. Third, a specific call to action at the end, not the weak overused follow for more, but something concrete. The full framework is in my free guide, link in bio. Or I'll break that down in next week's YouTube video, link in bio. And fourth, a sustainable frequency. 3 to 5 reels a week is effective and maintainable for most course creators. Consistency matters more than volume. And 3 a week, every week, for 6 months will outperform 7 one week and none the next. Here's the step most Instagram strategies skip entirely, and it's the most important one. Instagram is rented land. Your email list is owned land. The goal of every post, every reel, every story is ultimately to move the right people from the rented land to the owned land, where you control the relationship. The path works like this. Someone sees your reel because the hook stopped their scroll. They find it useful and tap your profile. They read a bio that's specific and clear, so they click the link. They land on your opt-in page, the one we built in week 1 of this series on System.io. They enter their email in exchange for your lead magnet, go through your welcome sequence, and become a subscriber. Every step has to earn the next. A weak hook, and they scroll. A vague bio, they don't click. An unclear opt-in page, and they don't sign up. A generic lead magnet, they'll unsubscribe. Here's the path from the Instagram side. The bio link points to the opt-in page on System.io. Someone taps it, lands on a clean, specific page. One offer, one form, the lead magnet described clearly. They sign up, hit the thank you page, and receive the delivery email automatically within seconds, while they're still thinking about what they just signed up for. That entire path from reel to subscriber is set up once and runs automatically for every person who takes it. You post the reel, the system handles everything else. One more Instagram feature worth using for list building: stories. Stories let you add a link sticker, a clickable link straight to your opt-in page, which, unlike the bio link, doesn't require someone to visit your profile first. If you post a reel that relates to your lead magnet, follow it with a story that says, "I've put together a free guide on exactly this," link above, and add the sticker. Stories disappear after 24 hours, but for a direct, time-limited push to your opt-in page, they're worth using consistently. Let me spend a few minutes on expectations, because Instagram growth timelines are consistently misrepresented, and misplaced expectations are what make people quit right before it works. Here's what realistic growth looks like for a new course creator account. Month 1 and 2 are slow. Your reels are shown to a small audience while the algorithm works out what your content is about and who to show it to. Engagement is modest. Follower growth is single digits a week, and this is normal. Month 3, the algorithm starts to get it, and if you've been consistent with 3 to 5 reels a week in a consistent niche, individual pieces start reaching further than before, not viral but meaningfully wider. Months 4 to 6, compounding begins. Strong reels keep being surfaced. Your follower count grows more steadily, and your bio link starts getting clicks regularly rather than occasionally. The creators who quit at month 2, who decide Instagram doesn't work, never see what month 5 looks like. The ones still there at month 6, having posted consistently and improved based upon what's working, are the ones who've built something real. I'll be honest about where I am on my own Instagram, @PaulMcIntyre_, because I think that's more useful than pretending I've cracked it. The account is pretty much brand new, and I'm in the early stages, using exactly the approach in this video. The bio's set up, the content's going out, the link points to the opt-in page. The results right now are modest, which is appropriate for where I am in the timeline. I'm telling you that because watching someone build in real time, including the slow early stage, is more useful than advice from someone who only shows you the finished result. Follow along if you want to see how it develops. If Instagram is the platform you're focusing on, and after last week's video, I hope that was a deliberate choice, not a default, the foundation you need is an opt-in page connected to a lead magnet and a welcome sequence. All of that is built in System.io. The free account link is in the description, and the full setup walkthrough is week 1 of this series, also linked below. Next week is one of the more strategic videos in this series, the difference between building a following and building a buying audience, and a specific content framework that produces the second kind regardless of which platform you're on. And if you've been creating content consistently and wondering why it isn't translating into sales or subscribers, that video answers the question directly. Subscribe so you don't miss it. And if you're building your Instagram presence right now, tell me in the comments where you are. New account, few hundred followers, few thousand. The more specific you are, the more specific I can help. I'll see you next week.